Yes, once again you welcome to Golden State Warriors news today. With the Western Conference standings as congested as possible, the Golden State Warriors entered the final week of the regular season knowing they needed to handle business. Specifically, they needed to win their 3 weekday games, against lottery-bound teams, to set up a Sunday showdown with the LA Clippers, which could have huge implications for the playoff seeds. The first step was an emphatic success. The Golden State Warriors headed to the desert for their penultimate road game of the year. When the schedule was first set, an April game against the Phoenix Suns projected to be vital for both teams. But Phoenix has had a massively disappointing season, and with former Warrior Kevin Durant sidelined, the Suns' season is all but over. They entered the night with a 6-game losing streak, and it didn't take long for the Warriors to prove that it would be a 7-game losing streak by the time the final buzzer sounded. Golden State had no interest in playing with their food on Tuesday. Their offense came out firing on all cylinders, with the ball moving around in a way that surely put a smile on Steve Kerr's face. Steph Curry, held to just 3 points in Sunday's loss against the Houston Rockets, made it clear from the opening tip that he would not have a repeat performance. He got everything he wanted against Phoenix's lackluster offense, and finished the first quarter with a highly efficient 13 points. The Warriors' defense was fine, if not dominant, but the offense was clicking. They led 37-24 after the first quarter, and it truly felt like the game was over. Phoenix never did anything to challenge that presumption. The second quarter started in dominant fashion for the Warriors, with their defense locking down, forcing turnover after turnover. Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, who combined for just 28 points on 25 shots, plus 7 free throw attempts, had no answers for Golden State's fast-reacting, hyperactive defense. Golden State's offense matched the defensive output. With Quinton Post a late scratch due to illness, Tracy Jackson-Davis got some early minutes and looked fantastic, giving the Warriors an athletic rim-rolling presence that Phoenix both had no answer for, and seemed to have no interest in having an answer for. The offensive rebounds and buckets piled up for the Warriors while the turnovers and missed shots piled up for the Suns. It culminated in Buddy Hield making a second-chance three, followed by a stop and a Kevin Looney layup, which punctuated a 19-4 run and gave the Warriors a 58-35 run. There was a sense that the Suns would call the game there, if they could. At one point the lead ballooned to 28 points, before settling in at 69-43 at the break. Curry had scored 19 points and Brandon Podziemski, continuing his hot streak, had used a second-quarter burst to score 17 in the half. They had won the turnover battle 10-2, and the points off turnovers bat. At one point the lead ballooned to 28 points, before settling in at 69-43 at the break. Curry had scored 19 points and Brandon Podziemski, continuing his hot streak, had used a second-quarter burst to score 17 in the half. They had won the turnover battle 10-2, and the points off turnovers battle 15-3. It was fairly clear there would be no second-half meltdown. And there was no flirtation with one either. The Warriors came out of the half like the team losing by 26, not the team winning by that margin. Curry clearly had a desire to put the game away early, and scored the first 5 points of the frame, with a vicious Moses Moody dunk making it a 7-0 Warriors run to start the quarter. From there it was just window dressing. The Warriors led by a dominant figure until the buzzer rang, securing a 133-95 win. The starters rested for the entirety of the fourth quarter, giving them some valuable rest, which is important as they have a back-to-back on Wednesday, when they host the San Antonio Spurs. Curry led the way with 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists, while shooting 9-4-17 from the field, 3-4-9 from deep, and a perfect 4-for-4 from the free throw line. Podziemski finished with 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, on 7-4-12 shooting, including 4-for-6 on threes and 4-for-4 from the charity stripe. Jackson-Davis added 13 points, with 10 points each for Jonathan Kuminga and Jimmy Butler 3, as well as for Pat Spencer and Kevin Knox 2 in their extended garbage time minutes. The win proved extra important, as the Memphis Grizzlies beat the Charlotte Hornets earlier in the night. A loss by the Warriors would have seen them slide back into the play-in tournament seeding. Instead, they will hang on to the 6th seed, assuming the LA Clippers, who are beating the Spurs at the time of publication, hang on to win. If the Clippers lose, the Warriors will move up to the 5th seed. Golden State also got some help from the Milwaukee Bucks, who beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Wolves are now a game behind the Warriors, and the Dubs have the tiebreaker. That means that Golden State would have to completely fall apart to slide down to the 8th seed. The Warriors also moved into a tie with the Denver Nuggets, though the Nuggets hold that tiebreaker. But with Denver in disarray following the shocking firing of coach Michael Malone, it's very possible that the Warriors slide past them. Golden State Warriors guard Steph Curry and Phoenix Suns forward Kevin Durant linked up after their matchup. The Golden State Warriors took down the Phoenix Suns on the road with ease, 133-95, but the star-studded Pacific Division battle could have been much better. The Suns were playing without superstar forward and future Hall of Famer Kevin Durant on Tuesday night, as the 15-time NBA All-Star has now missed 4 consecutive games with an ankle sprain. Durant missed playing out against his former team on Tuesday, and the Suns paid for it. Durant missed playing out against his former team on Tuesday, and the Suns paid for it. With the loss, the Suns were officially eliminated from postseason contention, but Durant still made time to meet with his former co-star after the game. Durant linked up with Warriors superstar guard Steph Curry after the Suns' loss on Tuesday, making for an intriguing reunion between the former teammates. Curry and Durant won back-to-back championships together with Golden State in 2017 and 2018, and rumblings suggest the Suns' superstar could eventually make his way back to the Warriors. Curry and Durant having a strong off-the-court relationship is no surprise as two high-character superstars, and Tuesday's matchup would have been much better if they were able to face off on the court as well. Curry finished Tuesday's win with 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists on 9-17 shooting from the field and 3-9 from three-point range, while the Suns were led by Devin Booker with 21 points in Durant's absence. With the Suns eliminated from postseason contention, there is a possibility that Durant has played his last game in a Phoenix uniform, and Golden State could be in the rumblings for another blockbuster deal this offseason. Neither the New York Knicks nor the Golden State Warriors may get the opportunity to trade for Phoenix Suns All-Star Kevin Durant in the offseason. Suns may want to hang on to Kevin Durant. ESPN's Brian Windhorst shot down the notion that the Suns desire to move Durant, though he may be Phoenix's ticket out of their current financial situation. Do the Suns want to trade Kevin Durant this summer? No, not really, Windhorst reported Monday. But the reality is that the Suns' pathways of getting out of the second apron, to ensure they have flexibility, all seem to lead to Durant. Knicks, Warriors trade rumors have linked them to Durant. The Knicks have been tied to Durant dating back to the time of the trade deadline. As New York has failed to win a game against any of the top 3 teams in the NBA thus far, the 2-time NBA champion was labeled as a surefire number 1 option who could lead them to a title. As for the Warriors, Durant already proved to be a perfect fit in Golden State. Both of his championships came with the Warriors during his 4-year tenure with the team. Now that the Dubs are championship contenders again, albeit a dark horse, Durant could form another super team with Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. The 4 could contend until the end of their respective careers. Nevertheless, Phoenix may decide to endure the second apron. Thus, New York and Golden State would have to look elsewhere for another elite talent. Skip to main content. Warriors Stephen Curry's 6-word Jimmy Butler message after beating Suns. Warriors Stephen Curry's 6-word Jimmy Butler message after beating Suns. Since adding Jimmy Butler ahead of the 2025 NBA trade deadline, the Golden State Warriors have surged up the standings and look ready to mac. Since adding Jimmy Butler ahead of the 2025 NBA trade deadline, the Golden State Warriors have surged up the standings and look ready to make the postseason outright without having to fight their way through the play-in tournament. The Warriors look the part of title contenders, and Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Butler are all able to play to their strengths. However, there is some doubt that the Warriors can continue their hot streak into the playoffs. After all, This is not the first time this season the Warriors looked unbeatable. They started the season 12-3 and were the best team in the Western Conference, better than even the Oklahoma City Thunder. Team defense was their calling card, but they since fell back to earth. When Golden State started 12-3, it had the NBA's fourth best defense, pointed out the Athletics' Law Murray. From that point until the trade deadline, the Warriors were 13-23 with the 20th ranked defense. But since Jimmy Butler debuted, Golden State has the NBA's best defense. Not exactly the mark of consistency over the full season, but there is no denying the Warriors' ceiling is much higher with Butler defending with self-proclaimed Defensive Player of the Year candidate Draymond Green. With Butler and Green both starting, there is little reason to think the Warriors can't sustain their excellent defense, but fans have seen them dip suddenly before, and in the postseason there won't be much room for error. Curry in 26 minutes scored 25 points. He was a plus 31 with 9 rebounds and 6 assists, and shot 9 of 17 overall, as well as 3 of 9 on threes. I loved how Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and Jimmy Butler and our vets really established the tone, Coach Steve Kerr said. Even before the game started at shoot-around, they were locked in and it showed right from the onset. There wasn't a Thompson twin or Dylan the Villain or a Van Vliet on the floor. Not a Tari Eason, too. The Warriors picked on any defender they wanted from Phoenix's 27th ranked defensive rating, 23 slots below Houston. All Bradley Beal could do was laugh when Curry hit him with his famed look-away three-pointer in the first quarter. Unpredictability is one of the beauties of sports. There's no telling what's going to happen next, despite what the data suggests. Isn't that what makes Warriors star Steph Curry so special, too? Even though his father, Dell, played 16 years in the NBA, there wasn't a script written for Steph's Hollywood story. His father's alma mater Virginia Tech didn't want him. Neither did any big college. Or 5 other teams in the 2009 NBA draft, including the Minnesota Timberwolves in both their chances. An undersized guard who joined the Warriors looking closer to a freshman in high school than an NBA rookie beat what the data said long ago. But his play in the Warriors' blowout 133-95 win over the Phoenix Suns on Tuesday at Peach Arena was oh so predictable. History said so, as did knowing how Curry the Creator. Curry has been held to single digits twice during the 2024-25 NBA season. Rookie Jalen Wells and the Memphis Grizzlies smothered him on December 19 when Curry only scored 2 points in a 41-point loss, where he missed all 6 of his three-point attempts and 7 shots overall. Curry's response was scorching the Minnesota Timberwolves for 31 points, going 10 of 21 from the field and 7 of 16 on threes. In the fourth quarter of that 10-point win, Curry tapped into pure savage mode. Stopping him wasn't an option on the menu. Curry scored 13 points for the quarter, but 11 in a flurry that lasted 1 minute and 29 seconds of game time. The second time was Sunday when a combination of Amen Thompson, Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet, and the Houston Rockets' bully ball defensive game plan held Curry to 3 points, making one of his 8 three-point attempts and missing both 2-pointers he tried. Within the first 5 minutes Tuesday, Curry had surpassed the total points he scored the previous game. The bounce back is real. Curry didn't take a shot in the first 6+ minutes of the game, and then scored 13 points in the next 4 minutes and 40 seconds. At halftime he was up to 19 points on 7 of 12 shooting. At the 3:30 mark of the third quarter, his night was done with the Warriors up by 32 points. Curry in 26 minutes scored 25 points. He was a plus 31 with 9 rebounds and 6 assists, and shot 9 of 17 overall, as well as 3 of 9 on threes. I loved how Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and Jimmy Butler and our vets really established the tone, Coach Steve Kerr said. Even before the game started at shoot-around, they were locked in and it showed right from the onset. There wasn't a Thompson twin or Dylan the Villain or a Van Vliet on the floor. Not a Tari Eason, too. The Warriors picked on any defender they wanted from Phoenix's 27th ranked defensive rating, 23 slots below Houston. All Bradley Beal could do was laugh when Curry hit him with his famed look-away three-pointer in the first quarter. But this is what Curry does. When the Warriors got crushed by the Cleveland Cavaliers one game after a big win over the Celtics in Boston, Curry responded with 36 points in a statement win against the Oklahoma City Thunder. After scoring just 10 points on 2 of 13 shooting in a loss to the Indiana Pacers on December 23, he dropped 38 points and made 8 threes against the Los Angeles Lakers on Christmas. He closed 2024 with a clunker of 11 points in another loss to the Cavs, and then opened 2025 with 30 points and 8 threes to smack the Philadelphia 76ers. The game prior to him making 56 points appear in front of the Orlando Magic, Curry only scored 15. 1 week ago he gave the Grizzlies 52 points, a game after scoring 13 while the Warriors had zero problems playing the San Antonio Spurs. Every all-time great has something special the eye can't see. It lives inside, not only in heart and head but as the central nervous system to the soul. A game that doesn't.